Hello and welcome to this Python 2 tutorial. What we're going to look at today is how to use the BeautifulSoup module and the Mechanize module to get all of the URLs from a site. So a simple little spider crawl of the website and it will return all URLs. It will also go into separate pages and return the URLs from those, all from the same site. So to get started, what we need to do is start up Python. Okay, with Python started, we've got our IDLE here. What we need to do is just go to the File menu and create a new window. And this is where we'll type in all of our code. To begin with, we need to add a few modules. The first one is import URL lib. Second one from BS4, this is the BeautifulSoup module. I'm using version 4. We'll import BeautifulSoup. There's a video tutorial on how to install that if you're not sure. Just search through the playlist. The next one is to import the URL parse module. And finally, import Mechanize. Again, that module's in the playlist on how to install that. Okay, so those are the modules we're going to use. First thing we need to do now is set up a couple of variables. The first one will be URL, and this will equal the URL we want to crawl. So I'm just going to put in google.co.uk as the main website to search, and what that'll do is it will search for all the links on Google, and then all the sublinks that it finds, it will search those too, and it will build up a list of all the links. Okay, now we need to set up the mechanized browser, so we'll attach that to BR and then mechanize.browser. Make sure it's a capital B for browser. Make sure you've got an S in there as well. Okay, what we need now is a couple of arrays to hold the data. The first one will be URLs, and that will just equal an array with URL in. The next one will be visited, and again that will equal an array with URL. So that stores all the arrays we visited. So what we need to do now is create a while loop. So while we have a URL to search, do some code. So we start that off with while len, open brackets, URLs, close bracket, colon. So while we have a URL, then press enter, type in the word try. We're going to use a try and accept in this. So if it can't do the following code, it will throw up an error message. So we'll use our browser to open up the URL. So br.open, open brackets, URLs, and then we'll take option 0 from the array. So we'll open the first URL in the array, and then we need it to pop urls.pop, open bracket 0, close bracket. What we need to do now is a little for loop just to go through all of the links. So for link in br.links, open close brackets, colon. So remember the BR is just the browser. So for link in browser links, new URL equals URL parse. So we're now using the URL parse module. Dot URL join, open brackets, link dot base underscore URL, comma, link dot URL, close brackets. Next line is again new URL and that equals HTTP, so make sure it's a web link in this instance, plus URL parse dot URL parse open brackets new URL close bracket dot host name plus URL parse dot URL parse open bracket new URL close bracket dot path. It's quite a long line there. Lots of interesting bits and pieces going on. Okay, so a little if statement to check whether we visited that website or not. So if new URL is not in visited, so it's going to check our visited links and see if it's not in there, and URL parse dot URL parse open brackets URL close brackets dot host name is in new URL colon. So just a simple if and statement there. What we need to do in the case it's matching those criteria is URLs dot append new URL. So it adds some URL to the array. Visited dot append and again new URL close brackets, and what we need to do at this point is print our new URL. So that's the code. It's going to go through and it's going to print out everything you want there. What we're going to do is just go back and put in the except. So if it finds an error along the way, the web page doesn't open or it doesn't exist, so on and so forth, we're just going to print error so we can see them happening on our screen, and we want to get rid of that error URL, so let's pop that from our list. What we need to do now is just save that file. And we'll call it mechspider.py. I'm going to save it on my desktop so I know where it is. Click on save and then just give it a run. So if all goes well, it should first go off, find the Google website and start hunting for its links. So as you can see, it's now running through the Google pages. There are a few errors popped up. We're now looking in google.co.uk/mobile, getting the links from there. And we're now in the about. So because I've chosen Google, it's quite a big website. There's going to be a lot of links available. So I'm just going to close down this video at this point. But change to the website address, have a look through. This is just one example of a spider. We'll be looking at a lot more as we go through, and I'll put some more videos up with different methods and different ways of saving the data and then looking at analysing that data later on. Hope this has been useful. Thank you for watching.